So I finished the website. This week I actually finished the website. I did around 8 or 9 hours because remember I had to do extra from last week, and I actually ended up finishing it. Last week I left off when I connected the database to the actual website. So what I had going on was it only showed the actual fertilizers that were in the database and nothing more than that. This week I did a lot of stuff. So first of all, I created a login screen, so only the authorized people can actually modify the compatibility of the fertilizers. Basically what I had to do with this was just some basic password, and you type it and it leads you to the next page. It stores whether you have the authorization or not, and if you do, it shows you the page. If you don't, it just says that you're not authorized to use this web page, and it gives you a link to come back to the login. Then on the actual compatibility part, I include the option to create and delete fertilizers. This is just to add and remove fertilizers from the database in case the person types one wrong or just wants to add a new one that isn't already there. And then just some quality of life changes, like for example showing the compatibility points in that page so the user can know whether they've already added or not certain points. Also making like the login where you enter the password work if you press enter. You don't actually have to click the button if you press enter, or the same when you add a fertilizer. If you press enter, the function executes. And then just some slight changes, nothing too important on that side. And also I created the mobile version for the salespeople. This page is for them to check whether a certain mixture of fertilizers is compatible or not. They're not actually inputting any new data. They're just checking whether, let's say they have fertilizer A and B and they want to mix it 60-40%. They don't know if it's going to work or not. So they just put it in the website and it tells them this works, this doesn't. Basically what I did here was I created an algorithm that takes the two values that they want and they check. If they are between compatibility points, for example, it's compatible if you mix them with less, it's compatible if you mix them more, then it's compatible where you are. If they are between a good point and a bad point, I'm calling good where it's compatible and bad where it's not. If they're between a good and a bad point, I don't know if it's compatible or not, so they have to call the company and ask someone that actually knows, or maybe make an experiment and load that information in. If it's between two bad points, then it's bad. You can't mix that because you just can't. And then if it's on the edge, if it's between a good point and the edge, then it's good. If it's between a bad point and the edge, then I don't know. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, so call and check. It sounds way easier when I explain it like this, but coming up with that algorithm took me quite some time. And I probably did not do it efficiently at all, but who cares? It's not that important. And yeah, that's basically all the website. There's not really much more complexity to it. To summarize, it's just one person loads information, let's say these two fertilizers, at what points they are compatible when mixed together, and the other person checks that information. It's really quite basic. But I ended up learning. I found this database, this FaunaDB, which is pretty cool and free if you're not moving a lot of information. I learned about communicating the front-end website with this database. I didn't really have much more back-end logic besides from that, but I learned some NoSQL or NoSQL, I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's basically just for databases. It's not SQL. It doesn't have the structure. It doesn't work with tables and all that stuff. So that was quite cool. I ended up using, like, if it were a regular database, I ended up creating tables manually, but I still learned a bit about the not so structured way of making database. And I also got to practice a bit of front end. I did everything with vanilla JS, CSS, and HTML. I used Bootstrap for the design. And yeah, that was basically it. Now I have to actually present it to the company. They don't know I'm making this. It's a company my brother works at, doesn't matter. But we are going to present it to them. If they like it, we're going to try to sell it to them. Maybe even get some money. But that's not the main part about this. What I wanted to do was just expand my portfolio a little bit, gain some practical knowledge, and well, I'm gonna take a couple of days off, probably just tomorrow or tomorrow on Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just to think about what new project I'm going to do next. And yep, that's basically it. If you have any questions about what I actually did, or want to leave anything down in the comments, want to, I don't know, send me maybe a project idea that I can do, greatly appreciate it. See you next time.